What is going on, everybody? Depraved /
No
we
one
are
gives
back
love to Waluigi.
The Pound and Slash Marvel Media Podcast. This is the Comic Corner.
I am Pounds. That's Slash. No one gives love to Waluigi.
He sucks. So we have a nice little amalgamation of comics to bring to you today.
Yeah.
Some things in the future that we know are coming that are super exciting. Yeah, so we're not gonna waste too much time.
No, we're gonna go right into it, man.
So,
and he got it good. Well, I had nothing but Thor City. This man actually had a variety of shit to do.
Now, one of the things that's going to be different this week than normal, we are not going to have a visual aid up as we normally would. I didn't even fly back into town until Monday night.
Right.
Tuesday, I started working on reading and watching things. And then Wednesday hit.
Well, that's no.
And I didn't get much time at work because we had a huge snowstorm starting to blow through.
One of the workers was trying to hit the ice stairs with a hammer. It got so freezing right, bro. We had a whole
right.
If you in the north, bro, you already know.
And then Friday or Thursday, everyone called in.
Yeah.
And you would think, right? But Depraved, you were at home all day.
Mm-mm.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I was playing Halo all day.
I think yeah, you said you played. He was going to play Halo. I said, okay, well, to each his own, friend. Did you win?
Quite a bit.
Hell yeah.
Actually did quite well.
I believe it.
So then we Friday came, and since everybody and their mom called in, except for me and one other person, I actually was kind of busy Friday. Not really load mastering, but I was doing quite a bit of other things.
Mm-hmm. What are you staring at?
I was making sure that the name on the back of my vest doesn't shine through.
Oh, shit. I didn't even realize that was...
but
funny.
Yeah, so I just, again, a lot of it was my fault. I didn't even finish reading the last comic until last night while I was laying in bed.
Then you said we did our Mordo podcast. He just watched the episode today. I said, okay. I mean, I rewatched it too, like from last night, just to jog up the memory. And we watched the final episode of our little thing. I said, okay.
Right. So for our YouTube people, no visual aid this week. I apologize. It'll be back next week.
You don't even got a Marvel trivia question, do you?
I don't.
Nope. All right.
Here's your Marvel trivia question.
Oh dear.
Who is our favorite superhero? Wait till the end of the podcast, or midway through. I don't know. I might announce it somewhere.
Right. Just drop it somewhere. There it is. So
starting off, we get the Avengers number 3.
Oh, number 3. Yeah.
Which is called the Avengers Meet Submariner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This was published January 10th, 1964. Mm-hmm. Written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by P. Reinman, which I think is Paul.
Yeah, I think it was Paul Ryman.
We begin with an Avenger meeting where they all decide to find the Hulk. Because if you guys remember at the end of Avengers 2...
I like the continuity, too, because,
Hulk said fuck off.
Yeah, he dipped out.
Iron Man uses an image projection machine to go to the Fantastic Four, Spidey, and the X-Men to try and see if any of them know where the Hulk is.
So it's cool, that, too.
Again, seeing cameos from everybody.
Right.
But no one knows where he's at. Upon returning, they get into contact with Rick Jones, who says he will look for Hulk, because they know Rick Jones is always with the Hulk.
And he's the mastermind that controls... No, let me stop. No, he ain't controls him anymore. That'd be... Hey, but it's like, he controls him. He knows.
Right. Rick finds Hulk in the desert and has him go back to the cave, where Rick has him change back into Bruce.
Right.
Later, while Bruce is sleeping, he actually turns back into the Hulk and busts out. And Rick goes and contacts the Avengers, letting them know. The Avengers find and fight Hulk and to a standstill, and Hulk escapes on a train. Hulk eventually finds himself on a fishing boat where Namor is watching him on a monitor. Hulk abandons the boat to go to an island where he runs into Namor. After a brief scuffle with Namor, Namor proves himself to Hulk, and they decide to team up against humanity, starting with the Avengers. The Avengers hear about their team up and their challenge and move to confront them. On arrival, the two teams go back and forth until Hulk turns back into Bruce Banner and runs so that he's not noticed. Namor feels abandoned, and the Avengers overwhelm him. He manages to get some water to trickle into the cave, which gets him strong enough so that he's able to escape. Until next time. And that's where it ended.
I feel so sorry. I get it. They want us to feel whatever. I do feel sorry for the Submariner. I mean, this man literally lost
always
people.
comes so close and then fails.
Bro, and then his
So
people are gone. He ain't getting none of that.
One of the things I absolutely loved is we're now starting to get to a point where the Hulk can't control anything.
Because he's doing it while he's sleeping.
Because for a while he knew that he transformed at night.
At least for like the first 6 issues, he was able to transform and shit.
Well, he transformed at night.
At night,
so he knew by nightfall to be back in the cave.
Right.
And then he developed a way to be able to force transform himself using some sort of gamma ray gun type thing.
But now it's a little bit different now.
But now it's like he was just mid-dream and just woke up changing.
Bro, this was more like a Hulk issue than an Avengers issue. I mean, I get it, because everything was relying on that because they wanted to see where he was at.
I love that they're also continuing to develop the Hulk as a character, even though they're not doing Hulk issues yet. Right. Again, it's been a while since we've had an actual Incredible Hulk issue. 2 years? I mean like 4. In here, about a year.
About a year. Okay.
So they're still developing him as a character. I think they're trying to find a way to make him more interesting for people because I'm pretty sure he was one of the least read comics at that time.
Wow.
So they were trying to find a way, which is funny because he's always considered one of the favorite Marvel heroes.
Right,
but his comics have never been fully supported.
Huh. Damn.
So, but yeah, so I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5.
Other side. There you go. Yeah, I get a 4 out of 5 too. It was okay.
And it also gets bonus points because, again, Iron Man using a machine to go contact everyone else, like the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the X-Men.
Because you guys, at the end of the day, they're all. I mean, if you really look at, they're all Avengers. I know X-Men are their own little thing too, but like what Tony Stark said, you're an Avenger now.
You're always going to get me excited if you do cross things.
Oh, yeah, crossovers will always be the norm for it. So.
The next issue we are going to talk about is the Fantastic Four number 22. This was called The Return of the Mole Man.
Mole Man is back, baby. Let's go.
This was published January 10th, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by G. Bell.
Cool.
We start off with Reed finishing up an experiment on Sue, and we learn that Sue can now create invisible force field energy and turn other things invisible.
Right.
After a quick testing of her powers and some complaints from local civilians, Reed sees that an island is for sale. They decide to visit to see if it's worth moving their headquarters there. Upon arrival, their sub gets dragged underwater. They see someone running in the distance and give chase, only to find out that it's the Mole Man.
Yeah.
He hits a trap door. They fall into a radioactive cage. We then find out Mole Man's plan is to make cities disappear with the platforms that he's built and start World War III.
And last time we saw Mole Man, we thought he died, actually. Or not died, but did he get...
No, we figured he died.
Yeah, okay, because he fell into a hole or something.
Well, no, the cage that he was living in collapsed.
And I said, well, he's gone. And then I said, well, I think you said, well, we're going to see him again. Yeah, and I said, well,
none of these guys ever die for good.
Well, yeah, that term should just be a staple. They don't die.
And I wanted to explain as far as making cities disappear. So he's built these platforms on like an elevator underneath entire cities, and his plan is to pull both a Russian and an American city down at the same time.
Which that was interesting.
To make them both think that the other one eliminated their city.
Right.
Yeah, and they would launch like nukes and shit back and forth. He wants to start World War III.
Right? Damn.
For whatever fucking... Well, he wants to start World War III so that humanity pretty much destroys itself.
So he can bring in his
he can bring his people up and take over the world.
Because ultimately, that was Little Man's thing, was to bring these monsters, well, his friends or whatever, to the world. Right.
So Sue then uses her Invis-Shield to get our heroes through the radioactive barrier. Right. And Mole Man traps them in individual rooms with using more trapdoors. Because they weren't smart enough to dodge them the second time either. They all use
Fantastic Four, man. They don't know what's going on.
Well, although they all end up using their brains to escape
their
individual situations. Mole Man turns out the lights and goes to escape, but Mr. Fantastic, at this point, Mr. Fantastic demands everyone to get into their sub. And at one point, they're like, "No, we need to chase him down." He's like, "Get in the fucking sub."
And I like this too. This is. Okay.
Like, Mr. Fantastic's becoming...
Right. Because from where we saw him as being a bitch now, from being a bitch in a couple issues now, he's actually taking form as being the leader. Well, he was the leader back when he did the thing with Sue Storm, and that's the point.
Right.
He said, hey, give this up, people. He said, we gotta chase him. There's no time. Because I think, wasn't it like the cave collapsing?
Well, no, not yet.
Not yet, okay. I thought it was good, because he's like, bro, we gotta go. Like, time to go.
So they all get inside the sub that they'd found nearby. They listen, and then Mole Man... Well, yeah, they listen. They all get in the sub, as he told them to. Mole Man goes to push the button to lower the cities, but it doesn't lower the cities.
Right.
It ends up destroying the cave.
Ain't that a bitch?
So
How
what
did
had
he not
happened?
predict that, man?
Well, what had happened was when Mr. Fantastic got out of his cell, he ran across the computers that controlled all that.
Right.
So he crossed some wires and ended up making it to where it collapsed. The cage.
I like how they show that too. It's like he's like, this won't work. Me or like back on later on or something. It's like, Mr. Fantastic saw this. Like, I'm just gonna do some shits here. There you go. Enjoy. You keep that. That's why I say get your ass in the sub. We gotta go.
I also gave this one a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5. Poor Mo, man. So it's like, yo, he'll be back in like another issue. It'd be Fantastic Four meets like Spider-Man number 50 out this bitch.
Right. All right. The next one is X-Men number 3.
Okay.
This is called Beware of the Blob.
Beware of the Blob. It freaks. I'm sorry.
This was published January 1st, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by P. Reitman. We begin with the X-Men training. During training, Professor X picks up on a mutant nearby and sends the X-Men out in street clothes to find this person. Side note, he is also thinking about his love for Jean, which I still find to be very creepy.
Right? He's like, yo, I love you. Like, whoa. Hey, stranger danger. No, let me
right?
stop.
So
danger.
they all go out and find the Blob, who's working for a circus.
Right.
They bring him back to Professor X. After testing the limits of the Blob's powers, they offer to bring him onto the team. He says, nah, I don't need you guys. Now that I know that I'm a mutant, nothing's going to stop me. So Charles has the X-Men attacking because now that he knows where they live, he's not allowed to escape. He needs to have his memory wiped.
Yo, hey, this whole entire thing.
Professor X is a dick, dude. The more I read these,
right? Yo,
the more I'm like, dude, I would not.
Hey, yo, you brought him here. It's like, I don't need you. Nah, G. We're going to like do the most Men in Black thing ever on you. Like, bro, but you brought him here. Right. You didn't have to bring him here. You could have kept his ass right there.
Right.
Dumbass.
So, Blob ends up escaping back to the circus.
Yeah.
And Charles knows he's going to come back for an attack and starts to prepare a power enhancer.
How would you know
for his mind. Because he's going to want to put down the X-Men for good. It's just common knowledge of knowing how bad guys work.
He didn't seem like a bad guy. Look, see, this is where we get to the conflict, yo. Because when I read this shit, I'm like, wait a minute. Hey, Professor, I mean, I get you want to suit up, but bro, we're gonna have to. We got to take him out. Damn, y'all just.
They're not gonna try and kill him. They want to erase his mind.
Right. I know, but still, damn.
So Charles knows he's gonna come back for an attack. Starts to prepare a power enhancer for his mind so he can reach a larger number of people.
Right.
Blob takes over the circus and makes everyone follow him back to the school. The school is then attacked, and the X-Men fight, and one by one, they're all captured. The Blob and the Carnies make it inside. Charles mentally tells Jean Grey that she's able to control items, and basically, so she takes the blindfold off of her and then uses her mind to pull out a knife from one of their attractions.
Was that? I think this is our first time ever seeing her doing.
No, she's used her mind several times.
Okay.
But then she uses the knife to cut herself free. She frees all her friends.
Right.
And then they make quick work of the Carnies inside.
Of course.
And then Cyclops shoots a hole in the floor that the Blob falls into. Charles erases all of the Carnies' memories, and they go back to the circus to continue doing what they've done without remembering who the X-Men or... Blob doesn't even remember he's a mutant. He just goes back to being himself.
Well, yeah, because he wiped them all out. But like I said, this was an unnecessary... we both agree. Like, this was an unnecessary thing. I would have just never have brought him to this damn school.
No, because you got to remember, Charles is trying to bring all the mutants that he can there.
Right.
It's going to be a nonstop from here on out power struggle between the X-Men and the Brotherhood.
Right. Because eventually Magneto will get a hold of him.
Well, so the thing is, I do know for a fact the next X-Men comic we're going to read is going to introduce the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Right.
We're going to be introduced to Toad. We're going to be introduced to Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver.
Was Earthquake involved yet?
No, I don't think so. So we're going to get all these introductions of new characters, and it's going to start that Brotherhood versus X-Men. And the way the X-Men see it is obviously the more people we can bring in that want to fight for our cause, the less we're going to have to deal with, or the less people we're going to have to fight against later when they join the Brotherhood.
But sometimes people just want to go home. They're like, nah, G.
Yeah, but he didn't just want to go home. Now that he knew he was a mutant, he's like, oh, I'm about to take over.
I mean, at first, before I flipped the page, I was like, maybe he won't do it. Then it's like, oh, never mind. He brought the Cardinals.
Right.
Hey yo, guys, we gotta take the school out. Damn, all right.
I gave this a 4 out of 5. Again, a very solid week for me in comics in general. I enjoyed pretty much all of them except for one.
Yeah, so far not bad. 4 out of 5 for me too. I like it. I like X-Men shit. It's getting good, even though I'm not really a fan of Charles Xavier.
And one of the things I loved about this issue specifically, and again, I didn't even bring this up for the Fantastic Four one from before. Like, I love that we're finally starting to see the development of Sue Storm having all these extra powers, like that we know,
like
that
the force
she's got.
field and the turning other objects invisible.
Right. And in this one, Beast finally starts to speak intelligently. And he's developing into that character that we know Hank McCoy to be. Right. Just the smart guy who doesn't really like violence all that much. Because he even says in this issue... I caught that, yeah. He's like, I'm not a big fan of violence.
I'm not a big fan of violence. I was going to say, this is about to be the pacifist, the one we saw in the X-Men animated series where it's like, you can escape. He said, no, I'm going to stay in prison.
And then Professor X, somewhere at one point in this comic, calls Summers Scott instead of Slim. Right. So he's finally got what his name is going to be for the rest.
Scott's gone. It's now Scott Summers. It was Slimmy Summers. I'm Slim Shady Summers. What's good? Now
right.
Scott.
But yeah, so it was, again, and that was one of the things I loved the most about it, is that these characters, again, are starting to turn into who I know them as. Right. As opposed to just being, who the fuck is Slim Summers? Why are you named Slim?
Don't worry, we'll bring Slim.
Why the fuck does Hank seem like he's just a Neanderthal instead of smart? And now he's smart, and it's like, okay.
That was kind of weird. Like, them first two, they made it seem like he was kind of not there intelligent. I'm like, wait a minute. This is not the Hank that we saw in First Class in animated series. Even in X-Men Evolution, he had a little bit of a smartness to him. Like, wait, whoa, gee, what? That made him seem like he was stupid. Like, nah, this ain't our Hank.
All right.
I like it, though.
And now for the worst comic that I think...
No, it wasn't. It was the best.
Of the ones that we read. Strange Tales, number 117A. This is called The Return of the Eel.
You didn't like Strange Tales?
No. Oh. This was published February 1st, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled and inked by Dick Ayers.
Dick, you picked the wrong fucking comic to come back to.
Right. So, Johnny Storm overhears that the eel is out of prison, and he goes to recapture him, just to find out that the eel has actually served his time and is a free man.
Right!
Embarrassed, he returns to the Fantastic Four. They pretty much just tell him to chill. That night, the eel steals some stamps from a stamp collector, which is a weird thing to steal.
Yeah.
Sure. But they're worth money, so I guess that was...
That's like, what, 5 cents a stamp, I guess? Sure, I guess.
Sure. Johnny is sure that the eel was the one that did it. Then the eel reads about a foreign diplomat with a rare ruby and decides he's going to steal it after his shift at the aquarium. Upon trying to steal it, Torch stops him, revealing that he put that in the paper. Eel gets in a helicopter and escapes. Torch goes home to bitch some more, and Sue tells Torch that his base is probably by some water, and Torch thanks her and then bounces. Johnny visits the aquarium where the eel ends up attacking him. After a skirmish, Johnny tricks him, defeats him, and gets him rearrested. Back at the Fantastic Four headquarters, the rest of the crew buys him a fish tank to congratulate him on his win because they are a bunch of assholes. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
1 out of 5. I already told you what game this could be. I'm kind of getting just fed up with Strange Tales shit right now.
My first problem, the eel needs to stay away. He's dumb.
Yeah, I'm ready to bring Pace by Pete back. You brought the eel. What?
He is such a boring villain.
Who brings the eel? What? I was so fucking done, bro. I was done. I was like, wait a minute. Your first thing, we're going to steal some stamps.
And why does it always feel like, so like in the Fantastic Four comics, right? Johnny Storm is able to use his mind to do things. Right. Yeah, but right. It seems like all the Strange Tales, he's dumb as fuck.
They make him really fucking stupid. Then he goes back and then he bitches somewhere. I know we've seen that sometimes Fast Four, but then sometimes we don't see him bitch as much. And here he bitches a lot.
At least when Thor throws a temper tantrum, it's because he's doing it because he loves Jane.
He loves Jane. Exactly. This one,
and he wants to be with Jane.
Nothing to it.
For Johnny Storm, he just throws a temper tantrum because he's dumb.
And the Fantastic Four.
How did he beat me? Oh, I'm gonna throw fireballs because I suck at what I do, and I'm never gonna be a good hero.
Right. And then Fantastic Four is gotta tell him like, "Hey, calm your titties, get it together." Like, bro, it's like it's always got to be them, and it's always the sister. Every straight show, yo, chill. get some breather. You got this. And then he's like, you're right, I got this. Like, yeah, no, facepalm. Yes, I know you got this. Duh, you're the fucking Human Torch.
Right. So then we got Strange Tales 117B.
Yeah, here we go.
Which is called The Mini Traps of Baron Mordo. This was released with the other one. Also written by Stan Lee, penciling by Dick Ayers.
Every time this is gonna be his expression. Every time we eat the Strange Tales, just fuck.
So we begin with Mordo casting a spell on the Sanctum Sanctorum. Once Strange arrives home and closes the door, the house is taken to another dimension, which I'm guessing is the mirror dimension.
That's what I'm thinking.
They don't actually name it, but that's what the artwork looked like.
Yeah, it looked like it was. Yeah, flesh. Yep.
Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto to turn into his astral form and finds where the spell is coming from, and he ends up at Mordo's place.
Right.
Upon arrival, he is trapped in a beam of light. Mordo then tells him he's going to kill their master and come back for him later. Upon arrival, Mordo pleads for their master's forgiveness. He then tries to spring a magic blast attack on him, but it doesn't work. And then the master transforms into Doctor Strange. Strange explains that he traveled in a straight line down through the earth until he arrived on the other side of the world, where Mordo's magic was a lot weaker because it was away from its source point. And he was able to get out of the spell, and then told their master what was going on. Their master gave him an enchanted ring that allows his astral self to do what his physical self cannot.
Right.
Or can. Not cannot. Mordo then calls upon the power of Dormammu. At the same time, Strange calls upon the light of the Vishanti, and Strange's spell is stronger. Strange then pulls all of Mordo's trap spells and places them on Mordo, and Mordo disappears. Strange returns home. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
I gave it a 2 out of 5. It's okay.
It
was like the best Doctor Strange.
Here's my problem. I have enjoyed every Doctor Strange up to this point.
Right?
But I'm getting tired of Mordo. I need a break.
Right.
You need to bring back in Nightmare and actually have a full-on fight with Nightmare.
Right, it's been Mordo for like the whole rip.
Like Nightmare was in 2 of them. Mordo's been in the other 4.
4 exactly.
And I get it.
At that time,
that's going to be his arch rival, but for fuck's sake.
And maybe at that time, what was that, 1964? Maybe at the time people were like, we need more Baron Mordo. Fuck, like, we want more Baron Mordo. They're like, okay, I'll just have him do some stupid shit, and I'm going to kill your master for the 15th fucking time.
Yeah, he's failed every time.
Right.
And then his master in this issue was like, he gets stronger each time. It's like, no, he doesn't.
No.
He gets dumber.
No, and he keeps getting captured, too, which is really not good. He's supposed to be the master of this shit, so. At least we get Dormammu. I mean, that was cool. He's like a little...
Dormammu wasn't anywhere in it.
I thought that he said that he used...
So he called upon the power.
Called upon the power, not yet. Yeah, I thought Dormammu was in it. So at least he said Dormammu's name, so that was and he said, Avengers said, hey, something different. See. Every time they go to Astral Form or the Mirror World, it's going to be something kind of same, but maybe 1% different. You get 1%. Any other time, it's going to be the same. So, anyway.
All right. Fantastic Four number 23.
Yeah.
This was called The Master Plan of Dr. Doom.
Hey.
This was published February 10th, 1964. Written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by S. Rosen.
Is that a new person?
I don't think so. I think we've had him before. We begin with the Fantastic Four chasing a small dino that came through the Doom time machine that they apparently at some point brought home.
Right.
Once they capture him and get him back to his time period, Reed pretty much scolds everyone for not watching the machine like he told them to.
Thank you. That's some Reed leadership. Like, who was supposed to watch this shit, man?
Right. The other 3 all decide that they might as well elect a new leader because they're tired of Reed's shit.
I was so dumb. I was like, yo, everybody needs to get pimp slapped by him. Just, like, what?
Meanwhile, Doom has freed 3 criminals from prison.
Right, all the time.
The Fantastic Four, minus Reed, can't agree on who's going to be the leader, and they all end up getting into a huge fight.
They gonna say Spider-Man.
Reed comes out and stop it and says that he doesn't even want to really be the leader, but they can't even control themselves, let alone a full group. Now, they can either clean up their mess or fucking bounce.
Bounce! Right! Yo, this is...
Doom gives the 3 crooks that he freed out of prison superpowers.
Of course.
One ends up being fireproof, one ends up being super strong, and the other one has ridiculously good hearing. How did you draw the short stick? I can hear things.
Hey, yo, that is just gonna get so ass clapped. They gonna get beat the fuck up. Oh my god, I hear it. Oh my god.
The fireproof villain sets up Johnny by saying that he's going to give him a nice car, and then Johnny's captured.
Of course,
the strong
Johnny.
one, right? The strong one tricks the Thing,
of course,
and captures him.
Of course.
And then the one that can hear tries and fails at tricking Invisible Girl, but then he still manages to capture her.
Which I don't know what.
A fantastic flare goes off. Reed rushes over and sees the Thing. The Thing tells him that it's somebody in an alley, and it ends up being Thing and Doom that trap Mr. Fantastic in what I would assume is a plexiglass cage.
A cage. I look like a cage, but I knew it had to be something like the cage.
We then find out the thing that Reed saw was actually one of Doom's robots.
Yep, a Doom bot.
Doom then sends the 3 villains that helped him to another dimension because he's a dick.
Right.
Meanwhile, Sue wakes up.
Right. Damn.
Right. Sue wakes up and breaks the thing out, and then the thing breaks Reed out. Doom comes in and sends a robot after the thing and freezes Reed in place. Thing beats the robot and frees Torch, who then thaws Reed, and Doom escapes through a hatch.
Yep, he's gone.
Doom tells them that they are in a path of the solar wave that will transport them to space when it sweeps through. Sue then traps Doom with a force field up against the wall.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, no.
And if he doesn't free them, he's going to die as well.
Right, where are you going?
So he opens the hatch and gets pulled through. On the other side, he gets pushed into space, and our heroes get out just in time, and everyone agrees that Reed is actually a pretty good leader.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Thank you, dumbasses.
And we're back to giving comic issues 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Damn.
It was a fun one. I enjoyed it.
It would have been 5 out of 5 if they didn't question it. It's like, yo, who gonna be leader? Nah, G. Nah. Yo, we ain't doing this. We're not doing this. Yo.
And now for what I consider the best comic of the week. Amazing Spider-Man number 9, and this is called The Man Called Electro.
Yeah, this
was published February 10th, 1964, written by Stan Lee, penciled and inked by Steve Ditko.
See, that's so unfair, man. He get all the good shit. I forgot that there was Amazing Spider-Man in that fucking, 6 comics you had to read? Or 7?
We start with Spidey rushing home with medicine for Aunt May, who is sick, and on the way home he passes some crime and doesn't even stop to help because he's in a rush. He gives her the meds knowing that she's getting worse. Meanwhile, Electro is preparing to shock the world.
I like that. I like that. Shock the world.
He robs an armored truck pretty easily. Back at the Parker house, Aunt May is seen by a doctor, and the doctor tells Peter that she needs to go to the hospital.
Right.
Later at school, Peter's ignoring all the kids because he's got a lot on his mind. They think he's being an uppity bitch, and really he's just worried, and they're a bunch of assholes. Right. Back at the hospital, Betty Brant comes to visit May. Hey. Peter and her walk out together, and Peter politely asks if she doesn't mind if he bounces because he's got some things she's got to take care of. She's like, yeah, sure. But Betty knows Peter is hiding something. Peter needs to get $1,000, but it starts raining, so he can't even get photos, so he decides he's not going to be a superhero for the night.
Right, he switched that off real quick. Hey, yo, I ain't saving nobody. Damn, all right.
The next day, Electro robs a bank that JJ is at. JJ thinks that Spider-Man is Electro and offers $1,000 for a photo proving that they are one and the same. Peter remembers that there is actually a reward for Electro's capture, so he ends up finding Electro to fight him. Right. Gets some pics, but Electro spots him in the process. After a brief skirmish, Spidey touches Electro, which shocks Spidey hard enough that it knocks Spider-Man out. Right. He wakes up, goes home. Peter decides to fake Spider-Man Electro photos to get the money so that he could save May, but he does feel terrible about doing it, but he's got to do what he's got to do. Well, yeah. We get a quick backstory of how Max Dillon was an electrician. He was one of the best pole climbers in terms of being able to fix electrical wires and things like that. But he refused to save a guy unless he was paid extra money to do so. And once he agreed, and once his boss agreed, he ended up going up and saving the guy. But in the process, after letting the guy down, he gets struck by lightning, and he manages to survive it.
See, that would have been more cool than Amazing Spider-Man 2. He just gets struck by fucking lightning and then turns to Electro. None of this kill shit.
But the electrocution gives him electric powers now. Right. So after he trained with him for a little bit, he's ready to be a villain. So Electro goes to a prison in order to free a bunch of inmates. Meanwhile, Parker goes to the hospital. Him and Betty wait for the operation to be finished, and after it's finished, May ends up making it. But since Spidey hasn't shown up to stop Electro, JJ thinks that he is right about them being the same person. Betty pleads with Peter to not go to the prison, but Peter basically tells her, he's like, yo, I need the money. This is my job.
This is my job. I need the money.
But she doesn't want him to live as dangerously as someone else that she once knew. Right. Spidey arrives at the prison. JJ is pissed at Parker for the fake photos. Spidey wears rubber boots and gloves to fight Electro, beats the hell out of the inmates first, and then uses metal bearings to draw electricity away that Electro keeps trying to throw at him. Eventually, Electro has Spider-Man cornered, but in the corner is a water hose that Spidey uses to spray him because, electricity and water don't mix. Nope. And it manages to knock Electro out. Spidey pulls the mask off but doesn't even know who the hell it is. Peter then shows up with new photos for JJ, but JJ threatens to fire him, but they end up making a deal that JJ can have the new photos and it will make up for the fake ones that he'd given him before. Betty is actually mad at Peter, but Peter tells her that it's his job. He likes her, but there's no way she's going to stop him from doing what he has to do to make money. She tells him that she dropped out of high school and took a job because someone she once knew acted like Peter. Peter basically takes that as like she doesn't want anything to do with him, so he's like,
right. What the? You know, when you get that speech, it's like, oh, okay, GG then. All right, that's cool. We're done talking. Bye. Have a good day.
Peter visits Aunt May, and on his way out of the hospital, Betty catches up to him. They walk in the moonlight talking together because that was not what she intended. Peter initially just acted like a bitch. So, I gave it 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. I know it. You knew what I was going to say it too. 5 out of 5. It was actually very detailed.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you my MVP, Electro.
Yeah. For real.
First off, Electro was my favorite supervillain of all time until I eventually became Carnage. I loved Electro. And Electro is the only person so far to beat Spider-Man without even fighting him.
Right.
Spidey just touched him.
Boom.
And Spidey was out.
KO. Done.
So I'm just saying. That, and I didn't want to put too much thought in who I wanted my MVP to be. That was a lot of really good comics.
For real? Yeah.
So I'm actually...
It would have been Doom. Doom would have been my next one.
I'm actually absolutely thrilled with the fact that I got to read the Electro comic this week. I didn't even realize that was the one that we were getting.
Right.
And then I read it, and I was like, ah!
Right. If I like I said, it would have been Electro, Doom, and then the Hulk. Like, them three would have been in running for the MVP, but yeah, like Electro was just he was there, man.
Right.
It even forced Peter Parker to take fake pictures. Come on now, what villain could do that to a teenager?
So next week we get the next Strange Tales.
Here we go.
Which is bringing back the Wizard.
Yeah, come on, you like that? You like that shit?
No. And we're also getting Doctor Strange with a story that's called The Possessed.
That sounds like fun.
No clue what that's going to be about. And then we get Amazing Spider-Man 10, which is going to introduce the Enforcers. Now, I've actually read this comic before. I'm not a super big fan of this one specifically.
Okay.
It's not bad, but like the Enforcers are just stupid.
Okay.
And then we get X-Men number 4, which is going to introduce the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
We talked about
which
that one.
We're going to get Toad, Quicksilver, Wanda Maximoff, and I don't know who the other guy is, just based off the picture, and Magneto. Magneto's going to be there. And then we're going... That was what? 1, 2... So that's 3. Then we're going to get the next Strange Tales.
So we get 3? Oh, shit.
We're getting 2 Strange Tales.
Oh, 2 Strange Tales. Right.
And this one's bringing in a guy by the name of the Rabble Rouser, because that's interesting.
What type of... Say that 3 times fast. Oh, my God. What?
And also, along with that story, we're getting the next Doctor Strange story, which is called Beyond the Purple Veil. I have no clue what that is.
Sure.
And then we're going to get Fantastic Four number 24, which is going to introduce a character called the Infant Terrible.
Sure.
So it's going to be about a baby-like alien that's probably throwing a temper tantrum.
Hey, he's going to be like the Impossible Man.
Right.
You can't... I'm just here. I'm an alien. Nobody can beat me.
And then we're ending with the Avengers number 4.
Yep.
Which reintroduces, ladies and gentlemen, the actual Captain America.
Right. Which... Remember, we began fake Captain America's, bullshit Captain America. This is the real Captain America show.
And we're also getting Submariner back.
Hey, oh come on, Namor needs to get. I'm not saying
we're not tired of seeing him at all.
Namor's been taking too many L's, man. You gotta give him some props, bro. He lost his people. He ain't getting no kitty from Sue. He's in a bad place right now. Doom betrayed him. Hulk betrayed him. He ain't doing so hot. Pace by Pete betrayed him.
Everybody's like, fuck Namor.
Right. That's it. That's literally what I think, Stanley.
If Namor wasn't such a cocky prick.
He lost the fucking... No, he didn't lose Human Torch.
Be a team player, you bitch.
Yeah, right. This is kind of weird because they remember, like, before I even knew about Namor, they said he was a hero, and I'm like, bro, and I'm reading these comics like, bro, he's a villain, but he's getting his ass handed to. It's so weird, man. But yeah,
so that is the lineup for next week. I do know we're getting close, somewhat close. Probably within the next few weeks, we'll be starting to get into the Silver Surfer Galactus storyline. Actually, it might be about 2 or 3 months away at the rate we're going. So that's super exciting. And then I also know that we're also close. I don't remember whose comics it is, but we're supposed to be getting... the Inhumans introduction.
Right.
Through somebody's comics soon. See, you got a good lineup of comics.
I forgot these are my comics.
My comics the week after that. There's 2 Tales of Suspense comics with 2 stories apiece. 2 Tales of Astonish comics with 2 stories apiece.
No.
And then Spider-Man and Daredevil.
Oh, that's not bad. That's where you're gonna pick AVP. It's gonna be in Spider-Man and
What
Daredevil.
Spider-Man issue is that? Oh, the Return of Doc Ock. Yay.
What? The one that actually whooped his ass? I mean,
Electro whooped his ass too. Didn't even have to fight him.
Okay, he get that one, but I'm saying Doc Ock, you gotta get Strange Tales looking motherfucker to come help his ass. He had to get the Fantastic Four to get him.
Daredevil's coming. At least Spider-Man's in that comic.
Cool.
And Fantastic Four, apparently. Who knows? Anyways, yeah. So that's for another week. But yeah, so those are the comics we'll be getting to next week. Like I said, I'm not super excited for the Spider-Man comic, just because, again, it's the Enforcers, and I just, it's the Enforcers. That's not something I get super thrilled about.
Right. Dang, I get to pick my MVP, and I get to pick from the Spider-Man thing. Oh yeah, our favorite character is Spider-Man, by the way.
Yeah, that's the answer. Spider-Man. That's the answer to our trivia question.
It will never change forever. It will be Spider-Man till we die off this planet.
Our favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Till we die off this planet.
Sam Raimi tried to kill it, but
shit. He tried. He definitely tried with the. He tried.
Do you ever wonder if maybe he regrets doing that scene?
Oh man, I would like to really get news on that. Like, he just said, "I regret it." I'm like, that was something we would probably have to talk about. Like, yo, just the whole shaking. I'm like, bruh, and the hair. I'm emo now. Like, wait, what? You emo now? Okay.
But yeah, so next week, remember, next Monday, you're going to get the next Marvel Media podcast, where we're going to be finishing out the rest of the Superhero Squad show. Next week, you're going to get the 6 comics we had talked about at the end of this week's episode. So, I hope you guys...
It's a good day for the pounds, man.
I hope you guys are excited as we are for everything coming up.
Doing some stupid shit.
So with that being said, ladies
Excelsior.
and gentlemen, we will see you guys next week. Hope you enjoy your week.
This is Ralph's week.
Excelsior.
Ralph's week. I caught that. No, it's Ralph's week this time.